Hey guys, a couple of days ago over on Michelle After Dark, I did a live stream about missing Jack O'Sullivan. Jack was just 22 years old when he went missing in the early morning hours of March the 2nd, 2024. So Jack has been missing now for over 18 months. He will now be 24 years old. And as a result of this live stream, I've been having a conversation in the comments with Mike. Mike has his own channel, so go and check that out if you haven't seen it. Mike could well be right here. So this is a theory, speculation alert. No offence meant to any member of Jack's family. I know that a lot of people don't like speculation, but here we are. No answers 18 months later. So let me go through this and break it down. So at 22 minutes 04, I was talking about the route that Jack possibly took, because there's a whole bunch of CCTV that tracks Jack's route. So he was at a house party here on Hotwells Road. This is Bristol in the UK, by the way. He texts his parents saying that he's going to be getting a taxi home, and his home is in Flaxburton, which is about, 4 or 5 miles southwest of Bristol. So at 2:53, he's caught on surveillance here. So he crosses the bridge, and at 2:57, he's caught on surveillance here on Brunel Lot Road. He must walk along here, goes down to ground level, and he's caught on surveillance at 3:08 here, and at 3:17 right here, which is at ground level in between the Cumberland Basin and the River Avon. This is where things get really intriguing, because he tries to call a friend who is allegedly still at the party. The friend doesn't pick up. So Jack is then seen walking back in the direction of the party, back in the direction of Bristol City Centre, or the party, which is here. Bristol City Centre's like just up here. So he's caught on surveillance on Plimsoll Bridge. And then at 3:30, a full 9 minutes before he's caught on surveillance for the very last time, the friend calls him back. So the friend must have been busy, not near the phone, realised that Jack had called, and rings him back. Jack says hello, and then nothing else. The line stays open for a while, and then it cuts off. At 5 a.m, when his mother realised that he wasn't back home, she checked I don't know whether they got Find My iPhone or they've got Life360. You know, those family sharing apps where you can tell where everybody, member of your family is. One of those apps. And she checks it, and his phone is on Granby Hill, at a particular address on Granby Hill. And the phone stays live until 6:44 a.m, after which time it goes off, so either the battery's dead or someone turns it off at 6:44, and it's never been on since. But the final time he's caught on surveillance is on Bennett Way, which is here. Okay, so if we go to the actual map, so you can see that Jack has come down here, across this bridge, down here, Brunel Lot Road, and then he's gone to ground level. Why? Who knows? Who knows? But he goes back up. There's like a little green space there. I don't know. Because supposedly he was getting a taxi. However, he had the Uber app on his phone, and it had never been accessed. So if he couldn't just, find a taxi walking along the streets, sometimes, taxis park up at certain places. Why didn't he just get an Uber? And he didn't even try to get an Uber. So had he changed his mind about going home? Was he meeting someone? I don't know. But he is caught on surveillance going back in the direction of, if you zoom out, you see, this is Bristol right here. This area is right on the edge of Bristol City Centre. Okay, so the very final time he's caught on surveillance is on Bennett Way, about here-ish. Right, so if we go down, so that's what it looks like. And that there is the Cumberland Basin. So if we look at this surveillance, we can see the full picture here. The cops say that he's walking in the direction of Bristol city centre. So I don't know where the camera's at. I don't know which camera caught him. But he's walking in this direction, like east, towards the city centre. The cops originally said, look, you know, he's in the water. Now, they've had divers in the water, they've had the Coast Guard, they've had a lot of help from water experts in the 18 months that this case has gone on. But let me just go back to my conversation with Mike. I said if he'd gone back on Plimsoll Bridge, I think he would have been caught on camera. Because he's caught on camera on Plimsoll Bridge. So if you walk back across the bridge, I don't know, maybe to go home or something, then he would have been caught on camera. Now, this is where Mike has been eagle-eyed. I've completely missed this. There's a spiral staircase on each side of the bridge. CCTV 5 doesn't cover the one on the Bennett Slip Road side. The staircase looks like bus shelters. They go to the river below. No railings at the bottom, unprotected water's edge. Why would they say he's heading to the city centre when he was clearly walking up the slip road towards the Plimsoll Bridge? This case is maddening with unverified information. Well, it's actually the police, Avon and Somerset police, who said that he was walking in the direction of the city centre. They don't say he's heading to the city centre, they're walking in the direction of the city centre. So I put him well spotted, didn't see the spiral staircase, but yes, you're right. That potentially changes things a lot. So here is Bennett Way. Now, he could have been heading back to the city centre because if he goes this way, that takes you to the city centre. City centre, there, A4. So he could have just nipped up there. So he's walked back up Bennett Way and he's heading back towards the city centre, which would take him back towards the party. However, if he went this way, I just assumed that he would have been caught on surveillance going back over Plimsoll Bridge. But look at this. Look there. Spiral staircase. Google, I've got the ground level. Look at that. And at that place there, that's the Cumberland Basin. It's not the river, that's the Cumberland Basin. It's part of a canal system. There's a lock there. And here's where the speculation comes in. What if he's been in the Cumberland Basin all along? He won't have gone into the river because of this lock. His body would have stayed in the Cumberland Basin. So I've said, are you thinking what I'm thinking? That he's been in the Cumberland Basin all this time? I checked the depth, and the depth of the Cumberland Basin varies between 5 and 8 metres, which is 16.4 to 26.2 feet. So it's closer to 5 at the edges, and then in the middle it's 8 metres. Obvious next question, did his body never float? Or, if it did, why did no one notice? Because if he was in the Cumberland Basin, he'd sink at first, his body would then float after a while, depending on the water temperature. Now, we know it was very cold that weekend, but you've got roads all around it. You've got roads, you've got paths, I'm sure people walk along here. So, why did no one ever spot him when his body floated? Did his body never float? Did he get caught in debris? And he's been in the Cumberland Basin all along? Is that why he just drops off the face of the earth? That has given me real pause for thought. Real pause. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to be live over on Michelle After Dark this afternoon to talk about the Lily and Jack case because there's a lot. that has come out over the last few hours. So I want to go over that in a live stream. So I'm not sure what time I'm going to do it yet, but I'll put the scheduler up within good time. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about this case in comments, and I'll see you in the next video.